What's going on, everyone? It is Saturday. You know what that means. We're bringing you the history of Jim Gordon. This is number 5. This is one of my favorite series. I love Jim Gordon and get to knowing more about Jim Gordon and him in the comics has been super fun. So I'm not going to waste your time. Let's dive right in. So Gordon suspects early on that Bruce Wayne may be Batman, though he never follows up on his suspicions. Although Sarah Eason's is correct in her suspicions. Even guessing Bruce's motivation in Batman, the animated series, Gordon has implied he deliberately avoids deep investigation on the subject of Batman or Batgirl's identity, that of his own daughter, which he seems more sure of but cannot acknowledge it because that would put him in an uncomfortable illegal position. So, leaving off last week's, we know that Batman wanted to reveal his identity to Gordon, but Gordon said no. But Gordon is super smart. Like, even in the Killing Joke, you find out how smart Gordon really is. Like, he's broken down. He already knows who Batman is. He already knows who Batgirl is, which is his own daughter. But he doesn't want to say anything because they'll put him in an uncomfortable position where he'll have to take them down. So that's pretty cool in its own self. Likewise, in the 1980s Detective Comics storyline Blind Justice, the world at large incorrectly supposes Batman is dead, and Gordon comments to Bruce Wayne that Batman has earned the right to retire if he so desires. He then rather pointedly asks Bruce advice on whether or not he should reveal that Batman still lives. So in the 1980s Detective Comics Blind Justice, we see that Batman is supposedly dead, and Gordon comments to Bruce that Batman has earned the right to retire. So he tells him, like, you're good. You can retire now. Everything's fine. But he's like, do you want me to reveal Batman's still alive? Or do you want me to keep them so he's dead? So that's pretty cool. I need to find this Detective Comics Blind Justice, see if I can find it for a good price, because I would love to read this. If you've read this, let me know in the comments how good it was, what you thought of it. Really love to know. So during No Man's Land, Batman attempts to regain Gordon's trust by revealing himself, but Gordon refuses to look at him, stating that if he wanted to know Batman's identity, he could have figured it out years ago, even cryptically saying, and for all of you may know, maybe I did. So Gordon knew Batman's identity. He's super smart like that. He knew Batman's identity years ago, and then in No Man's Land, Batman wanted to regain Gordon's trust by saying, "Hey, I'm going to show you who I am, so you can trust me." And Gordon's like, "No, I already know who you are. He's figured it out years ago." So that's pretty cool. During the Hush story arc, while working with Superman, Batman discusses whether or not Perry White has figured out Superman's secret identity, theorizing that White is too good a reporter to not have figured it out. He draws the same comparison to himself and Gordon, stating that Gordon is too good of a cop to not have figured it out. In that same story arc, Gordon, attempted to stop Batman from killing the Joker, tells Batman to remember who his role models are, his parents, and the beliefs that they installed in him. So yeah, that proves the point that Gordon knew Batman was Bruce Wayne. And even Bruce and Batman know, hey, Gordon's too smart for this. He figured this out a long time ago. And I think too, Gordon kind of keeps Bruce along the track. I think Bruce looks up to him almost like a father figure, like he does Alfred. He trusts his Jim because he knows Jim is doing the right thing for his city, for Gotham. And that's pretty cool. That's the great trust between these two. Plus, he asked Batman to remember who and what made him who he is, a rather oblivious reference to the criminal who gunned down his parents in front of him, suggesting that Gordon knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Barbara reveals her identities to her father in Birds of Prey number 89, Gordon then reveals that he was well aware of her status as Batgirl all along, though he purposely fully avoided looking into what she was doing after she was paralyzed. So yeah, and Birds of Prey 89, Barbara reveals to Jim, her father, that, hey, I'm Batgirl, and Jim already knew this. He knew this way before anything happened. He's so smart. He doesn't get enough credit for how smart and great of a detective and cop he really is. And that is so cool. So yeah, then we found out Barbara got paralyzed from the killing joke. That took a toll on Jim. But even with all that going on, Jim still stayed strong and still told Batman, bring him in by the book, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so that's our slides and issue or history of Jim for today. Hope you guys really enjoy this series. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button so you get notified of all the other great videos, and leave a comment. Love to hear you guys' comments. What do you think of this episode? Or were these stuff that you know? Were these stuff that you didn't know? Let me know in the comments. But until then, this is Dan, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great one, guys. Later.